So what is up, guys? Suda the Savage back, and today we're here with my Saints and Seahawks recap. Honestly, this was a very, very boring game. It was an ugly affair, but the Saints prevailed with a 13-10 victory over the Seattle Seahawks as we're going on to 4-2, off to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Halloween. So hopefully we can get the dub there. Anyways, going to get into a general recap of the game, individual player stats, and then the final grade for both sides. So without further ado, let's get this video started. All right, so on to individual player stats. So to start the game off, we forced the Seahawks to go 3-0. So awesome start, and hopefully we can follow up with something. We did not. 4 plays, quick punt. Seahawks took 2 plays, tried to run with Alex Collins, didn't have anything, and then Geno Smith connects with DK Metcalf for the 84-yard touchdown. Metcalf catches it, made a nice play over Lattimore. He possibly could have pushed off him, but I don't know. And then Marcus Williams tried to tackle him, but missed. Well, he actually got him, but it's pretty hard to tackle DK Metcalf at the angle he was at. The Saints, we eventually go on right after that, we go on a long drive. We're forced to punt. Seahawks, they punt as well. And then the Saints, 3 and out. Seahawks, they end up punting. So this game was honestly really boring. Just so many punts. The Saints, then we go on a 19-play, 10-minute drive with multiple fourth down conversions where Jameis Winston just made like a nice 1-yard rush up the middle that would just get a first down. Eventually we are literally within striking distance. We're on the 1 and we didn't get in. We're 4th and goal in the 2, and we just decide for Brian Johnson to kick the 21-yard field goal. At this point, I'm thinking, we go on a 10-minute drive. I want a touchdown, but we settle for a field goal. I'm thinking, just don't cost us at the end. Seahawks, quick drive, end up punting. Then the Saints on the 2-minute drill, many times, Jameis Winston just found a connection out to Alvin Kamara because he would just throw it to him and he would do all the grunt work. The main one was a 31-yard pass to Kamara where it was just like a little Texas route. Winston finds him and he just goes running. And then eventually, 1st and 10 on the Seattle 13. The snap is fumbled. Jameis gets the ball, just throws it to Kamara, runs it in for the 13-yard receiving touchdown. So we go up 10-7. Then the Seahawks just basically knee it out, and we go into the second half. So going into the second half, Saints get the very first ball, and we go 3 and out. The Seahawks, they will go down the field, get to a 4th and 5 in the New Orleans 26, and Jason Meyer sets up for the 44-yard field goal, but it is no good. Then the Saints, quick drive, and we end up punting. Seahawks, once again, quick drive, end up punting. Then Saints, we get the ball. Jameis Winston finds Adam Trautman for a quick pass. He runs, and Trautman fumbles. Then Seahawks they had 4 plays, and they end up with a field goal. So we're tied at 10 apiece late into the game. Saints, 5 plays, we end up punting. The Seahawks, they go on a long drive, about 5 minutes. Then Jason Meyer sets up for the 53-yard field goal, but once again, it is no good. Saints, we go on another long drive, 13 plays. This one took 4 minutes, ran off as much clock as we possibly could. 4th and goal at the Seattle 15, and Brian Johnson kicks the go-ahead 33-yard field goal. So I'm thinking, okay, we have the lead, a minute 56 to go. We cannot blow this. Seahawks have no timeouts, so let's just get this stop right here, right now. And what ended up happening? 1st and 10, incompletion. 2nd and 10, sacked by Malcolm Jenkins. 3rd and 18, sacked by Demario Davis. They're on their own 7. 4th and 28, Geno Smith almost gets sacked in his own end zone for a safety, but he rolls around, didn't even get it out to the 28. I think he was going for Lockett, gets swatted down. Actually, no, he was going for Metcalf. Incomplete pass. Saints knee the ball out, win the game 13-10. On to individual player stats. All right, so on to individual player stats. Now, I did have to film this in separate days, so that's why I have a Respect Toronto shirt on right now as opposed to a PSG shirt. Anyway, starting out with the Saints, Jameis Winston, 19 for 35, 222 passing yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. The media is criticizing Jameis Winston a lot, but my perspective is he needs more help than what he has. Right now, we got a lot of injuries to the offense. Teron Armstead, Ryan Ramczyk, Tony Jones Jr., Michael Thomas, Deontay Harris, Taysom Hill. Considering the factors that he had, it was a decent showing. Yeah, there were some overthrows and a couple of bad passes, but he didn't make any Jameis decisions, which was nice to see. But at the same time, some of the passes he was making to guys like Traquan Smith and Kenny Stills, they should have been coming down with some of those. So part of the blame on the offense does go to Jameis, just a touch, but not all of it. Anyways, when it comes to rushing, that's where it was really strong. Alvin Kamara was your lead rusher with 51 yards. I'll get to him later. And then Jameis Winston with 4 yards. So if Jameis Winston has the second most rushing yards in a game, and that's 40-plus yards, you got a problem with your run game. I know we cut Latavius Murray, and I know Tony Jones Jr. is on IR, so what do? We trade and get Mark Ingram. Now, I love to see the duo back of Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. It was such a great duo in the 2017-2018 season. Huge reason why Alvin Kamara was such an X factor those seasons, but once he was gone and, kind of regressed in 2019, but then picked it up in 2020. Overall, I think that's going to be a huge addition to the rush game because I want to see the Saints go with a rush first attack considering what our receiving game's like. So on to receiving, if you remember, Saints fans would remember week 2 and week 3 of 2020 against the Raiders and the Packers, Alvin Kamara was literally carrying us in the receiving game, and he did just that against the Seahawks. 10 receptions, 128 yards, and a touchdown. It was literally just a give and go to him. And honestly, I had no problem with that. We won the game, so who cares? I actually care because it does actually really expose how bad the Saints receiving game is. I mean, with no Michael Thomas, this receiving core is so thin. Tre'Quan Smith, Marquez Callaway, I love those two guys. They're way too inconsistent. Kenny Stills is a shell of what he once was. Deontay Harris was injured. And then the tight ends in Adam Trautman and Jawan Johnson, sometimes they show up, but other times they really just don't. And that really is a main concern for me because if the rush game shuts down and we have to rely on more of a passing attack, we're not making any progress. But after Alvin Kamara, Adam Trautman, 3 receptions, 36 yards. Marquez Callaway, 3 receptions, 32 yards. Tre'Quan Smith, 1 reception, 11 yards. Jawan Johnson, 1 reception, 8 yards. And then finally, Devine Ozigbo, 1 reception, 7 yards. So once again, no depth. I mean, the depth at this receiving game is thin as hell. Anyways, the defense, I'm going to give them a lot of credit. Yes, we got scorched by DK Metcalf to start the game. But I was talking with a friend earlier, and I said, yes, we got scorched, but let's forget about that and lock them down. We did just that. We allowed 167 passing yards and only 90 rushing yards. Pretty strong rush game. Like I said, you're not going to beat us through the ground in many other videos before, but I got to give a lot of credit to Demario Davis and the front seven because going into this game, we only had 8 sacks in the season. We had 5 tonight, and Demario Davis was just making tackles like he does. Demario Davis is such a key factor to this defense. And, like I said earlier, so what that we got scorched by DK Metcalf, still came out on top. Then on to the Seahawks. What is your obsession with running the ball? Are you still scarred from Super Bowl 49 by not running the ball? Geno Smith, 12 for 22, 167 passing yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. He was not that good either, but he's not the main problem on this team. Pete Carroll, why are you running the ball more than you're passing? I know Geno Smith's not the most viable option, but you can't do anything with your run game. You don't have Chris Carson. You're relying on Alex Collins against a hobbled O-line. Trust your receivers. You got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Freddie Swain, Gerald Everett. That's a solid receiving core. They should not be getting held to 167 yards. That should not be happening. You should be using the pass game more. Alex Collins, 16 carries, 35 yards. When you see a stat line like that, and also Rashad Penny had the second most carries, 6 carries for 9 yards. Seeing that stat line, pass the ball more. Stop rushing it. You rushed it 28 times, only passed it 22 times. It just doesn't make sense. And ultimately, that's been a big factor in some of your losses this season, is that you rely way more on the ground game. It's just not going to work out for you guys. Anyways, lead receiver was DK Metcalf, 2 receptions, 96 yards, and a touchdown. Awesome start to it, but just could not get anything else. Just had that 84-yard bomb in the beginning, and then was held to 1 reception, 12 yards. Didn't get that till the fourth quarter. Freddie Swain, 4 receptions, 39 yards. Tyler Lockett, 2 receptions, 12 yards. Gerald Everett, 3 receptions, 11 yards. Then Alex Collins, 1 reception, 9 yards. And that was it. Nothing else could be done for the Seahawks on offense. But the defense, got to give a lot of credit out to you. You held the Saints to 13 points. Yes, this is the Saints, and their offense is not exactly amazing, but, credit to where credit's due. Never thought I'd say your defense would have a good performance this season. It's rare for me to say that. But anyways, for the Saints moving forward, what happens now? We're 4-2, but once we get more guys returning from injury, I could really see this team being lethal. When you think about last year, Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, they barely played together last season. And when they were all on the field together, 100% healthy, that's when we were our most lethal. We're going up against the Bucs next week, and that is going to be a huge showing as to who we are as a team. So hopefully we're going to win that. But if we lose, let's make sure we put up a good fight and not just get blown out, because otherwise that's really going to expose our true colors. Anyway, Saints offense, I'm going to give them a 5 out of 10 for today, mainly for their antics in the second quarter, because that was like really our only time the offense was pretty solid. Other than that, really nothing else. On the Seahawks offense, I'll give them a 4 out of 10. Saints defense, I'm giving them a 9 out of 10, but I'm knocking off half a point for the personal fouls. No, I'm knocking off a full point for personal fouls, half a point for DK Metcalf, but I'm giving a half point back just because, despite the personal fouls and the fumble, we still limited them to 10 points. Usually against someone else, we would just completely blow it. And then the Seahawks, I'm going to give their defense an 8 out of 10. Pretty good performance by them overall, but not quite as good as the Saints defense. Saints get a 7.5 out of 10 for this game. For the Seahawks, I'm going to give them a final grade of 6 out of 10 for this game. On to the outro. That is going to wrap up my video for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you want to see all my other prediction videos and Saints recaps, links to all that will be in the description below. If you like this video, drop a like on the video. If you want to see Week 7 predictions, click right over here. Subscribe to my channel by clicking here or down below. Comment down below what your thoughts were on the Saints and Seahawks game. Make sure to follow me on all my social medias at Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok at Brendan Suter. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Who Dat Nation is